What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to episode 13 of the Monday Morning Quarterback Show. I'm joined here, as always, with my co-host, Buffalo Banter, Sean Olheim. And we're here for a little bit late of a Week 13 review. We're also going to be doing a little keep three, cut five, as you guys can see, and also our Thursday Night Football prediction for the really, pretty fun game for tomorrow. Sean, how you doing on this cold Wednesday night?
It is very cold. Absolutely freezing. Snow's piling up, too. We're getting to that time of year. Every game matters in the NFL, too, so we had a lot of exciting games. Just excited to dive into it, get to talk about it, analyze them a little bit.
I don't know if my audio just cut out a little bit, but you didn't sound the best there, Sean. But I guess we'll just get right into this. But as always, before we get into it, make sure to subscribe to the Monday Morning Quarterback Show for more football content weekly. Me and Sean going to be collabing pretty soon for the Pats-Bills game. Can't wait for that, coming up in 11 days from now. So that should be a fun one. But let's get to this week first. This week's Week 13 reactions. Starting off, the Packers on Thanksgiving, as we all watched, beat the Lions at Ford Field 31-24. Sean, I'll let you start with this absolute barn burner in Detroit.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I kind of saw this coming. I thought the Packers are going to win this game. Detroit just they play on the day every year, but they just seem to struggle on Thanksgiving for some reason. Besides the Bears last year, but that doesn't count. It was the Bears last year. I actually thought Jordan Love played a really good game.
Yeah.
He was 18 of 30, which, I mean, isn't like spectacular, but 234 yards, 4 touchdowns in the air, passer rating of 124.2. Their run game was going. Jacobs averaged about 5 a carry. Dontavian Wicks had a hell of a game, man. Mm-hmm. 6 catches for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns as well. I thought Christian Watson looked great. On the Lions side of things, Goff didn't even play that poorly. It's just the Lions defense just couldn't really get the Packers off the field. Definitely struggled a little bit without Amon-Ra too. So Jameson Williams did step up in a big way, though, to kind of fill that role. He had 144 yards. So very nice day for him. But the run game for the Lions just wasn't working. Jahmyr Gibbs had 20 carries, but only had 68 yards. So he averaged 3.4 a carry with a long of 18. So take that carry out. He had 19 carries for 50 yards. Just not a very efficient day. Not what we're used to seeing out of him.
No.
Don't think they utilized him in the pass game enough either, just compared to what he did last time he faced the Packers in the pass game. But yeah, I mean, Packers defense is legit. The Packers looked really good today. I thought this was one of Jordan Love's better game today. I meant on Thursday. Thought this was one of Jordan Love's better games. So I was definitely
damn near a week ago at this point.
Yeah, I know. You know what I meant. That was probably one of the more impressed games I've been with Love this year.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the completion percentage, you're not gonna be wowed, but Jordan Love played a hell of a game.
Yeah, that doesn't do it justice.
I know Wicks had the better game statistically, but Christian Watson's the wide receiver one for this team. He is pretty automatic in the red zone. You could see Jordan Love's pretty comfortable throwing to him. Even a couple of those incompletions went to Christian Watson on 50-50 balls, and he finally got that one. I believe it was over Amik Robertson. In the I forget what side of it was, but a really, really nice connection from those two. Like you said, my biggest takeaway from the Lions, right? Because if you just look at any advanced statistic, their offense is still top 5 in the league. Their defense is like average, which is kind of what we've seen from the Lions. I think their situational coaching on both sides of the ball, you can see, is taking a hit clearly without Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. Although the Lions defense wasn't great statistically last year, they seem to always make those big time plays to get them off the field in timely moments. And that's what you want to see out of good teams. Whereas this year, Jordan Love's killing them on third down. And like you said, they couldn't stop him this game. And for the offense, Goff did enough. He played a good game. You can't blame this one on Goff. Jameson Williams had a good game, but they're not able to just consistently come up. And they almost lost to the Giants the week before, Sean. We can't forget about that. This is a team that has been in a lot of games, and the Packers have seemingly owned them this year as well. They killed them week 1 of the season, but again, it's week 1. They go to Ford Field, play a statement game after the Packers had a lot of questions swirling them, along with the quarterback. But that defense came up big. Micah Parsons, 2.5 sacks. Awesome game from him. Josh Jacobs, I think he was pretty solid, 17 for 83. But like I said, I think the Lions definitely, I don't think their coordinators are doing a bad job. I just think you're really missing the presence of Aaron Glenn. And also they're hurt too in the secondary as well. Like you want to get healthy over there. But as I believe they just ruled out Terry and Arnold for the season, which
Yep.
is, I mean, I don't think he's a
Like a
great player, but
shoulder surgery,
yeah, I don't
right?
think he's a great player by any means, but it's a loss of a young, promising player. Um, they also just really couldn't get after the quarterback. Like I know that like just looking at the box score, 0 sacks. I watched the whole game. They weren't really getting a lot of pressure on Love. Shout out to the Lions offense. I mean the Packers offensive line. They did a good job, considering they're pretty banged up as well with Elton Jenkins with his yearly injury. But nonetheless, really really big win for Green Bay on Thanksgiving, and the Lions have put themselves in a pretty tough spot, and we'll get to them when we get to the Thursday night preview. But over the past few years, you're not used to seeing this Lions team being vulnerable as this, and they're 7-5 right now. And with a tight NFC playoff picture, we'll see how it goes. But um, I don't really know what the outlook of this Lions season is going to be right now. Um, Also, one more thing too, Gibbs is awesome, but the tandem with Montgomery has not been as dominant nearly as it was last year. We could tell Montgomery really hasn't been as involved. Seemed like he was good for at least a touchdown a game last year. He's not really getting nearly as much run as he did. He still had a decent game. He averaged 4 a carry, but nonetheless, Packers get the win on Thanksgiving and move on to 8-3-1 on the season. So really big win for them. On to
Such a
the next.
stupid record.
No. On to the next game. We have the Dallas Cowboys beating the Chiefs at AT&T 31-28, seemingly putting the Chiefs season in jeopardy at this point. Sean, I don't know about you, but I don't think the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, man, I'm worried. I'm not worried because I don't want them in the playoffs, but for their sake, I'm worried. I
Yep.
mean, they're just I don't know what it is. Like it's not a point problem. Their defense has been pretty much playing good all year, but
Their
Cowboys
defense
offense was
is
firing on
mid.
all cylinders.
Yeah.
Um, Patrick Mahomes was actually really good in this game. I thought he had 261 yards, 4 passing touchdowns. Had an EPA in this game of plus 16.1, so passer rating of 129.72. I don't know. I don't think it's an offensive problem for the Chiefs. I don't love their run game. I don't think Kareem Hunt's really a sustainable RB1.
No.
I think if they traded for a guy like Brees Hall at the deadline, then we'd be having a different conversation about them. But on the Cowboys side of things, Dak played incredible besides that interception on the very first drive. 320 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just was super impressed with them. I love watching the Cowboys offense, and I know you can agree with me on that. It's just there's so many pieces on it where it's so exciting. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb led the way with seven catches, 112 yards, and a touchdown. Pickens right behind him as usual. But yeah, I was kind of expecting a shootout. We got a little bit of a shootout here. This is a fun game to watch. I just love watching the Cowboys offense, man. It's really good. And honestly, their defense has been playing a lot better recently too, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely been better. Yeah, just onto this game really quick. By the way, I just saw something. Never mind. Not on topic right now. But the Cowboys are cooking, and you got to give Jerry Jones credit. This defensive line all of a sudden is like really damn good. Kenny Clark starting to play a lot better. Osa Odigizua, Quinnen Williams. That's a pretty good D line.
Quinnen Williams has
Obviously,
been very good for them.
I was gonna say he's been awesome. He's been maybe the best D tackle in football since he's been traded over there.
Yep.
This isn't a Mahomes problem. Their offensive line is banged up. We just saw that Josh Simmons is going to be out for at least 4 weeks. Just got put on IR. Rashee Rice is awesome. My biggest takeaway from this game is Trent McDuffie a little bit overrated. He got fried in this game, fried. So, especially by Pickens on the outside. In my opinion, I think he's an elite slot corner that is forced to play outside, and he's still a good outside cornerback. But I think he's at his best in the slot. And when you have to cover George Pickens on the outside, who's maybe the biggest nightmare of a matchup in the NFL right now, he was getting fried by both receivers on the day. Probably one of his worst games I've ever seen. But I mean, dude, this Cowboys offense is really clicking, and they're really making a run for the playoffs. Javante, really an efficient day. They couldn't really get the run game going, but it doesn't matter when you have CD and Pickens both going for over 85 yards apiece consistently every single game.
Yep.
And Dak played another amazing game. If he stayed a little bit more consistent in some of the games towards the middle of the season, I think he'd have a real case to win MVP. It's just he kind of had some bumps in the road where he didn't play great, along with the fact that this still is pretty much a 500 football team. But nonetheless, you have to give the Cowboys credit for, and you have to give Jerry Jones credit for the trades he made. I mean, as much as it pains me to say, the Quinnen Williams trade looked like a genius move. And on top of that, they're starting to win ball games. So forget about just him as a player. They're winning football games. They're beating good teams as well. And in a big spot like this, you keep your season alive. And with the way another team in their division that we'll get to and the way that they're looking right now, Dallas could sneakily win this division if they run the table.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I do think the Eagles will find their way eventually, but I don't know. The offense is just not clicking at all.
No.
I don't know. It's gonna be tough. But did you see the trade offer that Jerry Jones proposed to the Jets?
Yeah. What did we do?
Before the season? It was before the season.
Yes.
Not just what is he doing? What are the Jets doing? Not accepting that.
What was it like? Micah and 2 first rounders or something like that?
I think it was Micah and a first for Quinnen Williams.
Yeah.
First off, the Cowboys shouldn't be the team giving up the first round pick in this scenario.
No.
It should be Quinnen Williams and a first for Micah.
Yeah.
What the hell is Jerry Jones?
I saw that, dude.
Good God. He is so lucky the Jets didn't accept that. But anyway, moving on.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. It doesn't surprise me one bit. Does not surprise me just with the player with the GM that he is. But just a couple just things to cover with George Pickens this season right now. He is first in reception EPA plus 74.8. He has his average depth target 12 yards. Obviously, he's a deep threat. He's just his catch percentage is like 70% for a guy like him that's constantly getting, balls thrown 15, 20 yards down the field. That's pretty good. And he's doing this with another top 5 receiver on his team. I mean, he's been that good. 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns, 16 yards per catch. Like he's been that freaking good. Like the dude is fun to watch, and it seems like he's matured a lot and he's having a lot of fun. And if I'm the Cowboys, I'm genuinely giving him a blank check this offseason. I don't care how much it is.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that he is well deserving of however much money he gets, but it's going to be tough because it's going to be another one of those teams that ties up all this money and a quarterback and 2 wide receivers when you need to build a full team around them too. Like we see what the Bengals did with it. I just don't know if that's a sustainable way to. I don't know if that's a way to sustain success for a long period of time.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. When you do that, you're banking a lot on your draft picks. And how much do we trust Dallas to hit on defensive players in the draft?
I don't.
Besides Micah, not a great track record. I mean, I liked
Micah was a layup.
Ezraku's looked good in moments, but I mean that secondary is still really bad. So, nonetheless, we're getting off topic. The Cowboys with just one of the biggest wins of the season in the whole NFL. On the next and final Thanksgiving game, are we starting to worry about the Ravens a little bit? This is now the 3rd straight, and I don't like box score watching because I watch film, I read advanced stats. This is now the 3rd straight week Lamar hasn't thrown a passing touchdown. And yeah, you could say, but likely fumbled, and that's a fair point. Going into the end zone, touchback, and there was another one that got called back for OPI. If you guys watch this game, Lamar doesn't look like Lamar. Like he looks hesitant to run. He still looks hesitant to run sometimes. It's weird how inaccurate he's been. He had pretty much a 50% completion percentage. He was overthrowing guys down the sideline. It seemed like left and right. And I don't know, this Ravens team, their past games have been getting covered up because they've been winning, but they played like crap against the Jets and they played like crap against the Browns and they just stuck away with wins and people were like, oh, doesn't matter, they're winning games. Don't have to talk about that. They'll get going. And then they play a competent offense like the Bengals with Burrow back, and you see the defense kind of got exposed again. And I'll get to Burrow because I don't think Joe Burrow played that good of a game. I'm going to be
No,
honest. You
he
guys
really
watch, I don't
didn't.
think Joe Burrow didn't play. I didn't think he played that good of a game either. But I'll give him a little bit of a pass because that's his first game back. Lamar is playing through something for sure. The Ravens aren't very disciplined, whether it's the penalties, the fumbles, the interceptions that Lamar's throwing. It's not the like same old Ravens. I don't think. I think we're kind of just banking on them for the comeback just because of how weak their division is. Like Pittsburgh's completely falling off, and if I had to pick right now, I'm picking Baltimore to win the division still, but I don't think this is a team that's just going to automatically run the table like people think. I think they could finish like 9-8. Call me crazy. I mean, just looking at their remaining schedule right now, they play the Packers and the Patriots. You could see both those games being losses right now, and then they play the Steelers and twice. Which I mean, you got to think maybe they split with Pittsburgh, and they play the Bengals again in Cincinnati. I mean, that's a tough schedule to end the year, especially with Burrow back for the Bengals and a couple games under his belt. This Ravens team, I don't think there's much of a playoff lock as everyone's saying, and I think Derrick Henry he's still great, but we can all agree he's definitely lost a step, along with the fact that their offensive line is just, dude, I'm sorry. Something keeps falling. Their offensive line has regressed. You could see it. They're not the same unit. And if they lose Linderbaum in the offseason, who's had a little bit of a down year, that could hurt them even worse. But just focusing on this year, they don't really have a lot of separators either at the receiver position outside of Zay Flowers. They just weirdly gave Mark Andrews a 3-year extension today, by the way. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
That just felt random.
a little random, but kind of goes to show you how much they trust Likely to be the tight end one. But I mean, it's my main takeaway, dude. It's not the same Ravens team that we've seen, and it's not that lock playoff team that everyone's banking them on to be. And for Joe Burrow, credit where credit's due. He did well in moments for his first game back, but it took this Bengals offense a couple of quarters realistically to start clicking. I mean, Joe Burrow was 24-46. Once again, Joe Burrow right back in the fire, throwing 46 times. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Chase Brown, credit to him. He's been good. He's actually kind of had a resurgence in the middle of the season. Jamar Chase with that connection right back with Burrow. But Burrow was also really inaccurate this game as well, in moments down the sideline as well. But again, first game back, they killed the Ravens. If the Bengals run the table, Sean, I could see a world where they win this division just by reading those schedules from the Ravens.
Yeah, not just that. I mean, the way that the AFC North is shaping out right now, it's looking like you're going to need to be. It looks like you not need to be. It looks like if you make it to 9-8, like there's a good chance you win the division.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust the Steelers right now. I don't trust any of these teams, to be honest. But I mean, the Bengals, they'll have to win out if they want to win the division. If they want a chance to win the division. But looking at their remaining schedule, I mean, you got Buffalo this week. That's a tough game going into Buffalo. You got Baltimore at home. You got the Dolphins. I would hope that they could pull a win out there.
Well, the last 3 games are mid.
And you got Arizona and Cleveland. Like, if they beat Buffalo this week in Buffalo, I like their chances, man. I'm going to be honest, to run the table.
I agree.
They're not going to make the playoffs at 8 and 9 as a wild card team, but they could win the division at 9-8, especially if they beat the Ravens again at home. They'll have that tiebreaker over them.
Yep.
And I don't know what their situation is with the Steelers right now. They're tied with the Steelers, so I'm not even sure what the second tiebreaker is after head-to-head. Do you know?
I think is it point differential or is it like strength of schedule? I don't remember.
I'm not sure. But so they're tied with the Steelers. If they beat Baltimore, they'll have the tiebreaker over them. Even if they lose them, they might have the tiebreaker. Just not sure what that second tiebreaker is. But like, there's a world where the Bengals team runs the table. They would have to win out if they want a chance to win the division. But the way the Ravens schedule is shaping out, I don't hate it. Like, I don't hate the odds of the Bengals winning the division. It's just, it would all have to come down to this week pretty much.
And
the next 2 weeks, actually.
let me just say this. It would not surprise me if the Ravens turn it around and start playing a lot better. Because, like, again, this still is a good team, and Lamar, we all still believe, is a great quarterback. I'm just pointing out the obvious right now. They're not playing good football, and we don't really need to cover that too much. They're not. If you guys have been watching them, Lamar has just been straight up not himself these past couple weeks. The Bengals pull it off on Thanksgiving night, keeping their slim to none playoff chances alive. In the AFC North, which might be the worst we've seen it in years, just with production from all levels. But
Matt,
yeah,
Lamar's EPA in this game was negative 25.9.
Yeah, he was not good, dude.
That is horrible.
He was not good. Not good one bit. Moving on to the next game. This one will be a doozy. The Bears. They beat the Eagles in Philly 24-15, and we're kind of running out of excuses to say, oh, the Bears are frauds, because this is a really good win. But Sean, I'll let you start because I have my thoughts on this game.
We're running out of excuses for the Eagles.
Yeah.
It's not as good as people think they are, and the Bears proved that this week. I mean, the Bears won by 2 scores with Caleb Williams throwing for a completion percentage under 50% with an interception and only 150 yards.
Yep.
I mean, the Bears just kind of gave the blueprint to beating the Eagles. Obviously not every team is going to have 2 guys with 125 plus rushing yards. I mean, they just absolutely pounded the rock against them and obviously dominated on the ground. But I mean, I think that this just says so much about their coaching too. I mean, Ben Johnson has done an unbelievable job turning this team around. I wouldn't even really say that he's done a great job with Caleb specifically, because I'm still not sold on him 100%.
No, he's just been a good coach.
Especially because, I don't know. He hasn't been fantastic, and I'm not going to discredit him, but I don't think he's specifically been the reason that the Bears have had so much success this year. But I don't know. This Eagles team, they're not doing it right now. And I thought that, a game where AJ Brown had 10 catches at 132 yards and 2 touchdowns would be a game where, they're finally able to find some momentum, find some good juju, and it didn't happen. 15 points, just not good enough. Everyone's mad at Kevin Patullo. They're coming for his head. So definitely the vibes are low in Philadelphia right now, but we'll see if they can turn it around. I've never been impressed with Jalen Hurts, and I think that without Saquon Barkley having the year he's having, that offense definitely regressed a lot, especially against the Bears defense that has been struggling mightily this year.
Horrible.
They only had 15 points against them.
And junk touchdown at the end, by the way.
No doubt.
Dude. If you guys watch this game, that was, first of all, the way that the crowd was acting, you would have thought this team was like the Jets, like, which is how upset they were. Like, that was maybe the worst offensive. That was one of the worst games I've ever watched in the Bears. Dude, Caleb Williams already with pretty much a 50% completion percentage. He had negative 15% completion percentage above expected. He was the last of the week, him and Aaron Rodgers. You could even hear the commentators talking about it. Caleb Williams, you see all the tools, but when is he going to somehow find a way? Because it's going to hurt you in the end, because Caleb did not play a good game. He did not play a good game. If you guys watched, the run game was elite for the Bears. The Eagles run defense, they let up, I believe, 100 yards in the first quarter. I think Swift had like 80 yards or something like that. Monangai, he's turned into the one on that team. As good as Swift's been, Monangai is awesome. I've never seen a defense look as broken as I did in the Eagles in the first half. Then you jump to the other side of the ball. Their offense, that's Jalen Hurts. That was one of the worst. That might have been one of the worst quarterback performances I've ever watched in my life. People want to blame Kevin Patullo, but when you have Devontae Smith wide open on a slant, when the top's getting taken off by AJ Brown, literally wide open, he throws it behind him by like 4 yards. the interception that he tried to target AJ Brown on was a horrible decision out of the pocket. Like he threw it right to Kevin Byard, not a chance for AJ Brown to get that ball. People want to like just jump to the offensive coordinator for some teams. It's true, but when you watch how the Eagles offenses ran and you watch some of the plays that Jalen Hurts makes, you watch how Saquon Barkley is just straight up regressed. He's dropping wide open passes. He's not hitting holes hard enough. He doesn't have great vision this year. Because there is still gaps being created, but people want to just jump to the offensive coordinator when it's like, dude, watch the game and watch the quarterback, how he just was missing guys, straight up missing guys, making the wrong reach and then checking down every play. That was most of his completions. 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. A lot of that came at the end. One of them was an underthrown go ball to AJ Brown that he had to come back for. But that's just AJ Brown being him. And luckily he's starting to click a little bit more, but people want to fire Kevin. And I'm sorry, I don't think that's the end all be all. I'm not saying Kevin Petrillo is doing a great job. I have my questions because I don't think they run this offense great. I still think you can involve some of your guys more. But at the same time, when your quarterback is missing wide open players, along with your running back just being a shell of himself this year, that's not on the offensive coordinator. And on the Bears side, good win. They deserve their respect. They deserve to be a top 10 ranked team in the league. They're number 1 seed in the NFC. And you go into Philly and get the win. I need to make that clear, but I'm not impressed with Caleb Williams. I'm starting to be down on him a little bit. His sack avoidance is great. He's a strong arm. He makes some really cool throws out of the pocket, and then he's just straight up missing guys downfield, missing reads. And at some point, it's going to come back to bite them. You see it in the point differential. They're barely squeaking out some of these games. And he's gonna need to get that figured out if he wants to be this true top 5 quarterback that he was sought out to be, because he's not getting it done right now. They're relying heavily on the run game, and shout out to Ben Johnson. He's done an amazing job. This offensive line, Drew Dahlman, all pro. He's been unbelievable. Joe Tooney, unbelievable. They have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. They get so much push in the run game, but I'm not impressed with Caleb Williams. Wasn't impressed with Hurts. This was a poor offensive game on both sides. But again, Bears, really good run game. You're finding out how to win games. And it's all because of the coach. Not all because of the coach, but you see how much of a culture he's instilled in there. He gets fired up in the locker room. Caleb needs to figure it out. And for the Eagles, they might have a bottom 5 offense in the NFL, Sean. I stand by that take.
Which is crazy to say, but given their personnel.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I truly don't think the Bears are going to finish the 1 seed in the NFC. And
I don't say either, but
if they finish as a top 3, if they win their division and they're still like a top 4 seed, if I'm a bottom 3 seed and I see that I play the Bears in the wild card, I'm licking my chops. I'm going to be honest, especially if I'm like the Bucks or something. I don't know if I can trust the Bears in the playoffs. Your defense isn't playing good. Your quarterback isn't playing great especially if you want to win playoff games. I just think they're leaving a lot on the table. And I think that if I'm a playoff team that's going into Chicago against this type of team, I like my odds.
100%. But just a brutal game, brutal stretch for the Eagles here. They need to figure it out fast, but they're not the same team as last year. We all could see that. And they just had a horrible performance on Black Friday. On to the next game. Don't really need to talk about this one too much. Kind of what we all expected. The Niners roll over the Browns 26-8. I don't think Shador looked bad, but I just don't think he's ever going to be a true elevator in this offense. That's just my view on it. I think their personnel on offense is not good. Their offensive line is not good. And people hate Stefanski. I don't really know. I know obviously I know a lot about Stefanski and who he is, but I'm not over there hearing stuff about Stefanski, like whether he's going to get fired or not. But I do know that a lot of people want him gone. But at the same time, you got to look at what he's working with on offense and be like, okay, like you got Shedeur Sanders, Harold Fant as your leading receiver. Judkins has been kind of inefficient since that hot start that he had. Um, and their defense is elite. Obviously, we could say that 100 times. Their offense just gives them no chance at all. They're off the field in pretty much like 5 or less plays. It seems like every single drive, but we don't. I'm talking about this too much. The Niners. Shout out to Robert Saleh again. You guys know how high I am on him. Bad offense, obviously. Can't take too much into account here, but the Niners get it done 26-8 in Cleveland.
Yeah, you mentioned Shador. Obviously, he's not an elevator, but the problem is with this Browns team, you need to be an elevating quarterback if this team is going to be any good because they're just not good enough to have a game managing quarterback and be a good team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they've kind of screwed themselves with their quarterback situation because none of the quarterbacks on their roster are elevating type quarterbacks I say at the moment, but I don't think they're ever going to turn into them either. The weapons and the line is they're just not good enough. Their defense I think is great, but they haven't done a good job for building around a rookie quarterback. And when you draft 2 of them that are later round quarterbacks, it's just not a recipe for success. On the Niners side of things, it's just another, the Niners are quietly 9-4.
Yeah, I know.
It's a good record. This is a good team. People aren't really talking about them, I feel like, just because I truly don't know why. I mean, 9-4, they're a good football team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why McCaffrey is so inefficient on the ground. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, he went 20 carries for 53 yards. He had a long of 7 on 20 carries. I don't know.
No one's talking about it though because of how good he's been receiving. But like, dude, it's a problem.
He's a running back. Like, you need your running back to run. Which, I mean, if he can be as good of a receiver as he has been, then I guess that's what they're happy with. But man, I don't know. Niners are a good team. No one's really talking about it, but
just so well coached.
I know, but like it's just like it's so quiet. No one talks about them.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because the other 2 in the NFC West teams have been so like explosive and fun this year. But the Niners are really just flying under the radar. This is a good team that people shouldn't be sleeping on.
It is. And they're getting a lot out of some players that aren't really the biggest names on defense, but they're getting it done. Even Keon White had a sack this week for the Niners. Shout out to former Patriot Keon White. And this is kind of an off-topic question about the game. We don't really need to talk about the game. The Browns are just not a good team. Do you think Mac Jones is going to be a starter next year?
I could see him starting on a team that needs like a bridge quarterback. Yeah. I mean, he looked really good when he was in.
I think he could start for a few teams and not just as a bridge. I think a team could take a shot on him. Well, sign him like a 1-year prove it deal. And then if he has a good year, sign him like a 3-4 year deal. Like I could see the Vikings going for a guy like Mac Jones next year. I really could. I think Mac Jones would do a good job with Justin Jefferson. I think he would.
I know, but it's another one of those situations where they have a young quarterback that they took in the first round. They don't really have a choice. And
McCarthy is not going to be the quarterback next year, dude. No way. Not if he keeps playing like this, bro. No way. I promise you. Kevin O'Connell has made it clear they're not waiting around. They are not waiting. That is not a good player. They are not waiting. Not with Justin Jefferson and that defense in their prime. You cannot wait another year with this quarterback, dude.
I know it's just such an unfortunate situation for them. Like you draft a quarterback first round hoping it's your guy, and then he's just been this bad.
And people forget too, like I know it's technically only his rookie year, but it is his second year, and he still is due to be paid the same time that May, Williams, Daniels are all. So it's not like since he was hurt, he gets another year on his rookie deal. So you're going into year obviously this year's a lost cause. The Vikings are done. But going into the year 3 of your deal, that's kind of when people make decisions. Like we saw with the Titans with Will Levis. They had a pretty quick leash on him. Not a first-round pick, but Sam Howell, really quick leash for the Commanders. Obviously a completely different situation, but Kenny Pickett for the Steelers. Zach Wilson had about the same for the Jets. So I don't think Kevin O'Connell's going to mess around. I think he understands he still has a good core, take injuries away and quarterback play away. The Vikings still have good players on their team. And you can't waste around and bank on maybe McCarthy being better, because how much better can he like he my point is he can't go from what he's playing like now to like elite. Like it's so rare you see that. Like with quarterbacks that have problems at the beginning, Josh Allen, you saw the potential. Like the turnovers were an issue, but you saw plays where you're like, this guy's a franchise quarterback. Give him time. Same with Drake May, and some guys even started earlier. But me and Sean obviously saw it firsthand with May and Allen. Turnover worthy plays were an issue, but then they make plays where you're like, dude, this guy's going to be a stud. McCarthy doesn't make those plays. You don't see him make those plays. So we're kind of getting into the Vikings again here, but that's kind of my view on it for next year.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't know what they're gonna do, to be honest. I feel like they want to play. I don't even know if they want to play him, but like I mentioned, it's a first round pick. I don't know if you can give up on him 1 year after playing him, but they might not have a choice.
Yep. On to the next game. Again, don't need to talk about this one too much. The Jags beat the Titans 25-3. Thought Cam Ward looked okay in moments, but other than that, the Titans offense is so bad. I mean, their receiving core is so bad. It's quite pitiful. Jacksonville's 8-4. Again, they don't move me one bit. Not scared of them at all. If I'm a top seed in the AFC, their defense has been a lot better. Their rush defense is really good. Just not moved by Jacksonville. I don't know. Like like good win in the NFL, 125-3. Lawrence played good, but like
it's the Titans. It doesn't count.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I don't really need to talk about this game. We don't need to talk about the Titans, bro. They're the worst team I've ever. I was talking about Sean with this. The Titans legitimately have a need everywhere on their team. There's not besides in defensive tackle, like Sweat and Simmons. After that, there's not a part of their team where they can be like, okay, we're good here. Like they don't have that. They don't have a single player. JC Latham, bust, like horrible. They paid Dan Moore, one of the worst linemen in football. Their starting receivers are Chimere Dike and Elike Omanor and Van Jefferson and James Prochet, like horrible. Chigakonkwo, average to below average tight end, horrible offensive line. Run game, Pollard looks old. Defense, they traded everyone in their secondary away. L'Jarius Sneed is just downright awful. I don't know what happened to him. And their edge rushers, they traded like this team has no good players. Like they are so far away from where they want to be. Didn't they just get Kyrie Elam, by the way? Oh my God.
He's just like an experiment at this point, bro. It's just a bunch of teams like signing him, hoping that he'll like somehow turn into something magically. Cause like he was a first round pick, like coming out of college, the talent was there, but he hasn't put it together in the NFL. And for some reason, teams haven't picked up on it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess for a team like Tennessee, when you have this record, you might as well give it a shot. But like I said, Sean, this team doesn't have anything to build around besides Cam Ward and Jeffrey Simmons. But like, and Cam Ward, I will say, I just talked about quarterbacks making the plays. He makes the plays where you could be like, okay, this kid could be really good, but it's less often than not, or it's more often than not that he doesn't. And again, the situation is trash around him. They literally need 4 new offensive linemen. They need an entire new wide receiver core. Like it's as bad as you can get, but this Titans team literally has like nothing to build around besides quarterback. Like they have nothing.
Yeah. I couldn't name you a single positive thing outside of that besides Jeffrey Simmons. Like there's nothing, literally nothing to be excited about.
Yeah. They're just in a complete nightmare. This is a 3 to 4 year rebuild before they even start contending for a playoff spot again.
And the problem is, sorry, keep going.
They have, I don't know if this is what you were going to say, Sean, but they're not a free agency destination. Nobody's going to want to sign there. So they're going to have to rely on drafting well. And because right now, like Trey Henderson, he ain't going. Like none of George Pickens, none of these big name guys are going to go to Tennessee right now, as just with the situation they're in. Like, I don't know. This is a long rebuild, and you could have said that about the Pats last year, but they had pieces to build around, like small, but they did with Gonzalez, May.
Plus, they had a coach that you want to play for.
Exactly, Mike Vrabel. Yeah, that's another thing. Titans don't have a coach. Like,
yeah,
100%. It's just a disaster in Tennessee.
Another thing too is like, I mean, you already mentioned it, but if they're gonna want to like rebuild into like a competent team again, it's gonna have to start in the draft, because you're gonna have to. I hate to put it like this, you're gonna have to take guys that don't have a choice but to play there by drafting them.
Yep.
Because obviously you're not going to get anyone in free agency. But another thing is, like, I'm not saying Cam Ward's like this perfect franchise quarterback, but like he needs pieces. He's a rookie right now. He needs like something around him to like give him a vote of confidence. The wide receiver core sucks. Their run game sucks. Their offensive line sucks. Like, there's not a positive thing about this team where it's like, okay, this rookie quarterback should be excited about playing here.
Yep. I mean, Sean, just listen to these first round picks over the past couple of years. Cam Ward, wait and see. J.C. Latham, looking like one of the worst linemen in the league. Peter Skoronski, mid to below average guard. Treylon Burks, Caleb Farley. I mean,
you can't build a team.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know who Isaiah Wilson. Don't even know who that is. Jeffrey Simmons, like Rashawn Evans. Like, dude, the problem is they don't have a choice but to build their team in the draft, because no one's gonna sign there. So you have to build up your team in the draft, because you're not gonna attract any free agents over there. Looking like they're probably gonna get the number 1 overall pick. They obviously don't need a quarterback. Yeah, again, they don't need a quarterback, but this isn't a good quarterback class anyways, really. So, I mean, I guess take literally just best player available. It doesn't matter.
Dude, honestly, or if I'm them, consider trading down.
I was going to say consider just
like, unless it's like an edge rusher that like, he is going to be a stud, but like,
or like the offensive lineman.
Yeah, but like outside of that, like, you don't need a quarterback. Trade down, get more capital. You need to just draft people.
Not even
you need young guys that are going to come in and just
hopefully
be something.
You need as many, dude. You need as many. If I'm the Titans in the offseason, I'm trading everyone. I'm trading anyone with value on their team. I'm trading Calvin Ridley. I'm trying to trade Tony Pollard. I'm trying to trade maybe even Jeffrey Simmons. You could probably get a first rounder for him. I'm cleaning house. Like, you need, like you said, this team has to build through the draft. You need as many picks as you possibly can get to do that. And maybe consider trading down from the 1 spot if Mendoza is just this highly talented prospect that the team really wants. And maybe you could get a good player from a team as well if they're that desperate to trade down. But the problem is, no team will be that desperate, because they know the Titans aren't going to take a quarterback. So they're just in a horrible spot. But we've talked a lot about Tennessee. That's the most we'll ever talk about them until we get to draft season. On to a lot more fun game. Not really fun, but you know what I mean?
Not even, bro.
No, but a lot more stakes at hand. The Texans are heating up, Sean. They beat the Colts 20-16. The Colts are coming back down to earth. Daniel Jones looked like a statue, obviously broken bone in his leg. Taylor, not one of his most efficient days. Stroud had a solid game through a really, really bad interception. But Houston's defense just proved to the NFL world again that they're maybe the best in football. They shut down one of the most explosive offenses in the league. And I can't say enough good things about this defense. And they're gonna give you a shot in any game. And as a Pats fan, I don't want to see this team in the first round because of their defense. It's so good. Like, that defense can win you football games. They're not going to win you Super Bowl. They don't have the offensive firepower, but that defense can single-handedly, they're a Super Bowl caliber defense, and they could win you. They could steal you games night in and night out. And we saw that there against the Colts. Daniel Jones, again, stat line doesn't show it. I don't think he played a good game at all. A couple questionable play calls. The Tyler Warren tush push where he fumbled the snap on 4th and 1. Like, I mean, I understand he's a hybrid player. Like, he can kind of do a lot of stuff, but don't get too cute with it. Like it's not, they're acting like they're like 11-2. It's like, dude, you guys are sneaky in second place in the division, or like right there at Jacksonville. Houston's got the tiebreaker over you now. They got a little too cute there, and Houston won the game. And again, like I said, they're not and just another team to jump over the Chiefs. I don't want to see Houston in the first round of the playoffs. If I'm a high seed in the AFC, I don't want to see them.
Yeah, this is the last team you want to play. They're heating up at the right time. They got the best defense in the NFL. I don't really think you could even argue it at this point. I'm keeping the Texans over any defense in the league. I actually think CJ Stroud played a really good game outside of that interception. I thought he made a couple nice throws.
They just need to be better in the red zone. They're
Yeah.
not good enough in the red zone.
Yeah, and I don't love their run game. I mean, Woody Marks provides a little bit of a spark here and there, but I don't really think he's like a sustainable RB1.
Mm-hmm.
And just the combination between him and Chubb is just kind of meh.
Mm-hmm. Chubb had a touchdown though. Shout out to Nick Chubb.
But yeah, Nico Collins had a good game. I don't know. I thought Stroud played good for what it's worth. I don't think the Texans, if they want to make a run, are going to have to win games like this, where they put up like maybe 20 to 25 points, but where their defense is just so elite that they can shut down any offense and only allow 15 to 20 points, because this offense isn't good enough to keep up in a game if, an opposing offense is able to figure out their defense, especially like you mentioned in the red zone. So I definitely think this Texans team is capable of winning a playoff game. I think they could surprise a high seeded team, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens in the playoffs. But this is one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. Do not want to see this defense.
And all their losses too were extremely close one-score games against good teams as well. One thing I will say, once this Houston team has to play a high-powered offense where their defense is going to have an off day at some point, and if once they play a team maybe like the Pats in the playoffs, like the Bills, if Josh Allen's playing at his best, like I mean, I feel like those are like pretty much like the only offenses in the freaking AFC right now, to be honest. But like even if they play a team like the Ravens, I'm saying, or like if the Colts play better and they have to get into somewhat of a shootout, they're not doing it. They don't have the team. They don't have the offense to do it, unfortunately. And like the defense will keep them in games, and like they're going to win you games like they did against Buffalo, like they did against the Colts this week. But there's going to be some games where your offense needs to score a little bit more than 20 points per game. And I just don't think that can happen with them. But Houston is a scary team. No doubt. Their offensive line's actually played a little bit better as of late. Just to kind of talk about their defense really quick. Of course, my thing's not loading right now, but I mean, I saw a ton of stats on how good they've been. They're like number one in like every single statistic. Yeah, like yards per game, first in the NFL. EPA per play. Well, I'm sorry, that was gonna say the Giants are not number one. They have the best. They give up the worst EPA per play in the NFL. Like the Texans defense is that good, and they got a statement AFC South win. I think they're 4-1 in the division now, Sean, which is huge for playoff implications as well. So Matt, huge win for the Texans. In
not to mention too, they started out the season 0-3. Yep. Like they're 7-2 in their last 9 games. If they started the season a little bit better, this team would be in talks of one of the best teams in the league.
100%. And the Colts, like I said, they're charging back down to earth, to be quite honest. To not sugarcoat it, and they're charging back down to earth. They're injured. DeForest Buckner's hurt. Sauce Gardner's hurt. Daniel Jones. It's an injured team that's not playing as well as they were at the beginning of the season. On to the next game. The Dolphins beat the Saints 21-17. In a game that was pretty close. The Saints had this game. They recovered the onside kick to take the lead. And they obviously, of course, couldn't do it. But Miami, sneaky 5-7. Tua played like crap again. And in my opinion, for Miami, this is pretty hilarious as a Pats fan. They're just completely killing their draft position. They're going to be, again, stuck at the 15 to 13 to 18th pick, when they could have just tanked the season away and got a top 5 pick when they were 2-7 or 1-6, whatever they were. But Mike McDaniel's coaching for his job and they're winning games. Devon Achan's friggin' awesome. Darren Waller has kind of made an impact every time he's played, which is random, but you're kind of in this position where you're stuck. They're almost turning into Pittsburgh a little bit, Sean. You're stuck in mediocrity. You have a bad quarterback or a below average quarterback that's just not an elevator. He's got a huge turnover problem. He can't move in the pocket. His completion percentage is completely plummeted. And the defense, I don't trust the defense still one bit. And I mean, they played the Saints. Like no one's really, moved by them only letting them get 17 points. But the Dolphins are just completely stuck in mediocrity, Sean. And they're going to probably finish the year like 8-9 or 7-10 because I think they kind of have an easy schedule to end the year. Like they play the Jets. The Steelers, like the Bengals at home, the Bucks, like they could win some of those games. And I think it's pretty funny if you're a Dolphins fan because they're not making the playoffs and they're going to be stuck in mediocrity for what seems like ever.
Which is fun. I don't even think this is a mediocre team. I think this team
No,
sucks.
I'm saying
but the way they're playing right now, like I think funny enough, like I think winning these games is hurting them more than anything. Because I think if they started losing more of these games, I think McDaniel would be gone. I think there would be more talks of Tua being gone. They'd have a higher draft pick. Like I think keeping guys like McDaniel and Tua in the long run is going to hurt them even more than it's going to help them. And, obviously having a lower pick in that situation is just not ideal in my opinion. Obviously you're never going to be upset winning games in the NFL. It's a hard league to win games, and you're never going to purposefully tank, I would hope, but funny enough, I think winning these games is hurting them more than anything.
Oh, 100%. And just to make it clear, when I said stuck in mediocrity, I don't mean them because they're not a good team. I think we can all agree on that. They have so many holes. God, they have so many holes on their roster, just pretty much everywhere in the defense. The offensive line's horrible. Tua stuck with him, unfortunately, but like they're going to be picking 13th in a kind of another weak draft. And the Dolphins are just kind of stuck right now. And I think it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, not upset by it by any means, but.
And on the other side, I don't think Tyler Shuck has been horrible, Sean. Like, he was under a lot of duress this game. Their offensive line did not play well. It seemed like every time they showed this game, Shuck was like rolling out. But he's making some decently nice plays. Devon Vele had a really good game. Chris Olave had a pretty solid game as well. I don't want them to keep Shuck because I don't think he's ever going to be. This might be his ceiling already, but at the same time,
yeah, it's kind of feeling like
this quarterback draft is so bad that I could see the Saints just trying to take best player available, which I wouldn't hate, by the way, and just accept that again we're not going to be good. Take best player available and wait till next year when maybe Arch comes out if he plays a little bit better, and just hope that you can find a quarterback in the 2027 draft because as of right now, this is not looking like a good QB draft. If Dante Moore stays in college, you could take him next year. I think that the Saints could stick with Shuck and just take best player available. Not that I think it's a good idea, but he hasn't been horrible. We have to give credit when credit's due. He's
already a veteran, so
yeah.
Nah, this just feels like another team, kind of like the Titans, where it's like trade anyone with value, get as many picks as possible, not just become better, but become younger. This is one of the oldest teams in the league.
Yeah, they still are old.
Still old. Demario Davis,
Cam Jordan,
Alvin Kamara, like all these
Chase
guys
Young.
All these guys are just so old. You need to become younger. You need to become younger. You need to become, more athletic. Just become a more like young and exciting team.
A fun team.
Old. They have no direction right now. And just adding on to the problem, I don't think they have their franchise quarterback. I don't think Shuck is the guy long term by any means, but maybe he could bridge them over till next year when hopefully, like you mentioned, that he get a guy like Arch if he starts to play better in college football. But Yeah, I don't love anything from the Saints team right now. They need to trade anyone with value this offseason and just
This
become younger and more athletic.
this is another team where they could use help every single spot on their roster. They
Yeah.
could use help. Like there's not a spot on your team where you're feeling great about right now. You have Olave. Then after that, Vele is just he's obviously he's a boomer bust receiver.
Any wide receiver could just have any random game like that. That was just his game.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Running game, Kamara's going to retire soon. It seems like you have your tackle duo, although Talisi Fuaga did not have a good game against the Dolphins, but he's a good player. Defensively, old. They got some decent players in the secondary. I think Kool-Aid's okay. They have a safety. I'm forgetting his name, who's actually not bad. He's a good
Sanker.
Yeah, he's pretty good. But other than that, they need help everywhere. And again, the Dolphins are going to be stuck with a mediocre draft pick and just taking another player like Kenneth Grant, who has little to no impact on your team.
He's been silent this year.
They took a D lineman when at the time their D line was their strongest position. At the
He
time.
also just wasn't like that. He wasn't good enough to go that high. He wasn't a top 15 pick.
I don't want to Monday morning quarterback the pick, but I liked him as a, player to go to a team that's already established good. And this is kind of to your point. He went to a team where he's kind of already taken on that 1D tackle role. I mean, Zach Sealer, have you heard anything from him this year?
Nope.
Like people always want to talk about him as one of the most underrated players in the league. I haven't heard a single thing from Zach Sealer this year. So it was kind of Kenneth Grant and then Bradley Chubb old, Matt Judon old. Chop Robinson had some upside, but he's been a little quiet this year. But yeah, the Dolphins beat the Saints 21-17 in Miami. By the way, their fan base is so bad. It is so bad. Like nobody's there. No one's there. It's half the stadium's empty.
Well, like Tyler Sports.
God. Before we move on to the next game, we're going to actually do a little segment here. Sean has a little keep 3, cut 5 running backs for me, and Sean, I'll let you take it from here.
All right. This is going to be the Monday morning quarterback show. Keep 3, cut 5 running back edition. With the very first running back, I have Chase Brown.
See, this is the thing. I don't know who you're going to have in here because Chase Brown has been good as of late. But at the same time, it's like he's not even a top 10 running back. Like I'm cutting him, but he's been reliable as of late. He's done a pretty good job, and I'm respectfully cutting him.
Next guy.
Mediocre guys in here, dude.
Next guy I'm giving you is Devon Achane.
Okay. I'm definitely keeping Achane. I think he's one of the 4 or 5 best in the sport. He's been one of Miami's bright spots this year. And unless you give me Bijan, Taylor, Gibbs, like one of those 3 guys, I'm okay with that. I'm keeping Achane.
Okay, so you've kept
or McCaffrey.
You've kept Achane and cut Chase Brown so far. You're 1-1.
I'm nervous.
Next running back up, Breece Hall.
You have this like down, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. All due respect to Breece, he's a good player. He's kind of the only thing that's been holding the Jets offense afloat for these, not this past week, but the past couple weeks. He's good. Breece Hall is underrated. I don't think he's talked about enough.
Which is funny because before the season we were saying he was overrated.
Yeah, but no, he was last year. He played horrible. If you guys watched the Jets, he did not play good last year. Ask any Jets fan. I'm gonna cut Breece Hall.
Okay, so you've cut Chase Brown and Breece Hall, and you still have Devon Achane.
Okay.
4th running back up, you got Bucky Irving. Matt is a huge Bucky guy. Matt loves Bucky Irving.
Huge. Okay, so I have to take into account the injury because and just everything that happened throughout that, it seemed like he might have been dealing with some mental. Obviously, we all want Bucky Irving to be okay as a person. We never want any of that, but it seemed like something was going on behind the scenes there. Bucky,
Yeah, something didn't seem right about that.
yeah, Bucky's like amazing. I think he's really explosive. I think he's one of my favorite players in the NFL to watch. Um, I have to cut him because again, he hasn't played enough this year, and even when he did play, he was good. He wasn't elite, but I still love Bucky Irving. But I'm gonna cut him. It's close.
Next running back up, number 5, Quinshawn Judkins.
I'm cutting him. I messed up. I should have kept either Brees or friggin' who did you Bucky. I messed up. What am I doing? I messed up. I'm cutting Judkins.
Next running back up, Ashton Genty.
Oh my god.
Matt needs to keep 2 of the next 3 running backs.
Okay, I mean, I'm
first of the next 3 is Ashton Genty.
I have to cut Genty. I can't keep him. He hasn't been better than Brees Hall. Not even. I should have kept Brees. I should have kept Brees. He has not been better than. I have to cut him. I have to. Don't have a choice.
Next running back up is Kyren Williams.
Okay, that is good. Okay, now read through all the names.
So Matt has kept 2 and cut 5, meaning he can no longer cut anyone else. Kept so far is Devon Achane and Kyren Williams. Cut so far has been Chase Brown, Brees Hall, Bucky Irving, Quinshawn Judkins, and Ashton Genty. Meaning we're down to our final running back that Matt can cut or Matt has to keep this one. It all comes down to this, Matt.
Hold on.
Do you think I screwed you over, or do you think I set you up for success?
I think I should have. If I could do it over again, I think Bucky is like better than a lot of these guys, but it's just he hasn't played. Brees, if I would have changed it, I would have kept Brees, and I would have just banked on this being a cut. I would. Kyren is. I'm good with keeping Kyren. Kyren's awesome, but just go ahead.
I hate to be that guy, but the final running back is Devin Singletary.
This kid really screwed me over, dude. Are you serious, bro? You put Devin Singletary as the last running back?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, I should have kept Brees then. I knew it. I knew it. God, man. It's so annoying. What would you have done?
I would have kept Achane.
It's so hard. It's so hard in the moment though, Sean.
No, I know. I would have kept Bucky and I would have kept Kyren. Like in that order that you went through.
Yeah.
Because I think I would have skipped. I think
scumbag.
I think I probably would have skipped Brees Hall, but I definitely think I would have taken Bucky. Yeah.
I just was going off this year because he's been hurt. God damn it, dude. I'm so mad about that. Anyways, back to our week 13 review. Speaking of Kyren, the Panthers with the upset of the year over the Rams, 31-28. You got to give credit where credit's due. Me and Sean always say that. Bryce Young played a hell of a game. He played a hell of a game. And like I said, I'm rooting for Bryce always. He's like an awesome dude. Like his interviews after the game, like I absolutely love watching him. He seems like such a genuine guy. Chuba Hubbard kind of cementing himself as maybe the RB1 again over Rico Dowdle. He had a really good game receiving and rushing. And then of course, Blake Corum also had a really good game. Kyren did good as well. 5.5 a carry. Blake Corum averaged 11.6 yards a carry. Devontae Adams is automatic in the red zone. Matthew Stafford did not play a good game. One of them was deflected at the line. The other one was a horrible throw to Puka way behind him. And then for the Panthers, they're surprised. They're like, I don't know if they're good or bad because they're losing to bad teams and then they're playing good teams and they're winning or playing competitive games. Like, I don't really know what to make of this team. Like, they're so weird. Like they get blown out by the Pats and Bills by 30. And they beat the Packers in like a defensive struggle. Then they beat the Rams in a shootout. It's like I don't know what to make of this team. Tat only had one catch, but it was for 43 yards and a touchdown. Really clutch player on. I think it was on 4th down. Ball got spread out to pretty much everybody. Jalen Coker, he's a really solid NFL player. I got to give him credit. Bryce Young got the job done in the clutch. Stafford kind of killed his MVP. He could still absolutely win it, but he kind of hurt his odds a little bit. And this is just one of the biggest statement wins of the year. They're sneaky only a game, like half a game behind the Bucs for the division. And this team should have life. I'm not saying, I mean, it's the end all be all because they have a tough schedule at the end of the year. They play the Bucs twice and Seattle in there. So it's like, those are brutal, but Bryce Young played a good game. Like he always does every other 4 games. He plays a good game, but other than that, you have to give the Panthers credit where credit's due. They did a good job.
Yeah, I'll give them credit, but I'm not sold on them yet.
No, me neither. I need to make that clear. Me neither.
I still don't think this is a playoff team when it comes down to it. And I'm going to be honest, like taking a look at some of their wins, like you mentioned, they beat good teams, but it feels like in some of these games, they kind of it feels like more the other team shoots themselves in the foot versus the Panthers actually like beating them like straight up. Mm-hmm. Like Stafford turning the ball over 3 times. He had a chance to win the game for the Rams at the end and he just fumbled. And
the Packers got in the red zone like 4 or 5 times and they
couldn't score. Like it's just it just feels like some of their wins against big teams, it's like it feels like the other team self-imploding versus the Panthers actually like taking it to them and beating them. Yeah. Which, I mean, if you're winning games, credit to you, not much else. You can't really, talk trash about a team that has a winning record, I guess, but I'm not sold on the Panthers. I don't think Bryce Young is a playoff caliber quarterback either. And I don't think he could take them there. Even if they make it there, I think that they're a free round 1 game for any team that has to play them.
They'd be the 4 seed, by the way, if they win the division.
Yes, so they'd play whoever's the 5 seed.
Game. They would have a home playoff game.
Who the hell wants to play a playoff game in Carolina? Like
they'd probably play against like Seattle. Yeah, and they would get smoked.
The Seahawks would. Sam Darnold playoffs.
Yeah. We thought of that at the same time.
I don't know that if the Panthers somehow made it, props to them, but I still don't think this is much of a team. Not super high on them.
No, and Sean McVay didn't seem too concerned after the game. You saw his interview. It was pretty funny. We came in.
He knows they self-imploded. Like it's teams beating themselves. It's not the Panthers straight up beating them.
I mean, yeah, Matthew Stafford.
Like the Panthers took advantage of their mistakes, which I'll give them credit for, obviously. Yeah. But like, it's not like they took it to them.
No, and Matthew Stafford, he, like, how do I say this? Like, he goes from throwing 26 straight touchdowns or whatever to throwing 2 picks in a row 2 picks in the game. It's like, that's what the Panthers had to get to win the game. You know what I mean? They still barely won. Like,
that first interception, I wouldn't even put on him. The second one wasn't a good throw.
I think the first one was Derek Brown that deflected. He's just like an elite player, but
the second one
was a horrible throw. Pick 6 cannot happen. But Panthers get the win, and they move on to 7-6. On to the next game. The Bucs beat the Cardinals 20-17. Sean, I'm going to be honest. I'm not impressed with the Bucs lately. I'm not impressed with how they're playing. Your boy Baker has been okay. Bucky, first game back, did not have a great game. 3.6 yards a carry. Chris Godwin actually had some really nice plays. Tristan Wirfs receiving touchdown, by the way. Forgot about that. Shout out to Tristan Wirfs for the receiving touchdown. You got to love that from the big man. But Jacoby Brissett is like the Cardinals, like they're 3-9, but they're in every game besides the Seattle game. They got smoked. They're in like every game. Jacoby Brissett, again, 300 yards, 40 passing attempts. Like he's doing enough to keep this team in the game. I mean, Trey McBride, outstanding game again. Shocker. It's inevitable with him. Marvin Harrison, good game. Michael Wilson had some nice plays. Michael Carter as well. Bam Knight had a decent game, 5.6 per carry on the ground. But dude, Brissett's doing everything he can to keep this Cardinals team in the game. And I think once they get a quarterback, like obviously Brissett's doing a good job, but I'm saying like a young, like because Kyler's gone. By the way, play Brissett over Kyler. He's been way better he's done a way better job with this offense. Once they get a few more pieces, I think they need help on the offensive line. I think they could probably use another receiver, a running back if James Conner doesn't look the same after that injury. He's getting up there. But I think Jonathan Gannon's doing a little bit better of a job than people think. Like they're almost winning. They're almost winning. I think Gannon could get fired, but to me, it's more of just a lesser personnel issue. I think Brissett's doing a pretty good job, though. I have to give him credit where credit's due.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like they're in the game every week.
Yeah.
And it just feels like Brissett's just fighting from behind. Like, guy throws for 300 yards every week. I mean,
he didn't throw for it once for the Patriots last year.
I mean, good God. Like, this guy's throwing 300 yards every week. What have we come to? But, I mean, Matt, also look at their receivers last year.
Who?
The Pats.
No, but like that's not how we ran our offense either. We were much more run heavy than Arizona.
Yeah,
like and the offensive line was atrocious, obviously. But no, our receiver. It wasn't even our receivers. It was more the offensive line. That was the problem.
Well, yeah, no one could be good behind that offensive line.
No.
Anyways, Trey McBride outstanding. Marvin Harrison, not bad. I mean, kind of want to see more out of him, but. Matt, are we starting to see some late season regression out of Ibuka?
Yeah, we've been seeing this for the past couple of weeks.
What are your thoughts? Like, how are we?
I think
what's some reasoning for this?
I think he's going to be a very good player, and I will say he's way ahead of schedule of where I thought he was going to be. I thought his ceiling was limited, but again, I also thought JSN's ceiling was kind of limited. And Ibuka's a lot a bit ahead of where JSN was in year one. I think Emeka Ibuka is still going to be an amazing top 10 receiver. I just think he's struggling to be the consistent number one right now with Evans out when he's getting all the attention put on him. I think getting Evans back will help him because we saw when Evans was healthy, that's when Ibuka was playing his best. I also think it's a little bit of Baker. I don't like how Baker's playing, Sean. I haven't loved how Baker's playing. He's missing Reed.
He's playing through injury too.
You could tell he's playing through it. I was just gonna say you could tell he's playing through injury, but it's not even just that. He's missing, and this is part of the injury, but he's missing throws that you haven't been seeing him miss. I think the Bucs are like 1-5 or 1-4 in their last 5 games. Like they've been struggling lately. And this was a struggle streak to get this win. And luckily they did because the Panthers sneaky on their tail. But the Bucs need to get healthy. But I'm not really impressed with this win at all from the Bucs. I think they have a tough game next week too, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, never mind.
Nope.
Playing they actually have a really
their schedule is such a cakewalk to me.
Yeah. So that's not really gonna move anybody, but watching them play at the beginning of the year against like the Eagles, like they had some really I'll go back to right now. They beat the Texans, like they beat the Seahawks, they almost beat the Eagles, they beat the Niners, they beat the Steelers, they almost beat that was preseason, but like they've had some good games and some good wins. It looks like this team's fatigued a little bit almost. And I think they're injured. They could use a bye. Obviously, they don't have that anymore. But they got the win, 7-5. And with that cakewalk schedule, they should handle the division. But
yeah, they got the Saints next week. And then they play the Falcons on Thursday night. So they'll get a little bit of a mini bye. Hopefully they can get healthier and turn a corner to end the year. They got the Panthers twice in 3 weeks in weeks 16 and 18. So those are going to be some big games, oddly enough.
On to the next game. Sean's Bills beat the Steelers 26-7. And I'm not even just being a hater. I think Sean can agree with me. This did not feel like a 26-7 win. Like it felt more like a 17-7 win. Like the Bills defense played good. Shout out to them. Terrell Bernard had a really good game. They couldn't. The
Christian
Steelers.
Benford.
Terrell Bernard. I meant Christian Benford. I'm so
Bernard
sorry.
didn't even play.
I know. I meant Benford. I get them mixed up sometimes.
Terrell Bernard and a good game doesn't go together.
No. The Bills' run defense surprisingly had a good week against Kenneth Gainwell, who's sneakily been pretty good this year or as of late. Rodgers looks old. He's getting when he gets hit, he looks like, no, I know, but I'm saying like their offense is so vanilla. It's step back, first read, not there. Rodgers complains, misses it. Like it's just a disaster. DK again, 3 catches for 32 yards. I'll say it every week. Has he been their leading receiver like in like the last 5 weeks? Like it's always a tight end.
I don't think so.
Darnell Washington, that dude's a beast, by the way. You cannot tackle him. But yeah, Pittsburgh's offense is so bad, like genuinely, and their run defense is atrocious. Shout out to the Bills' run offense with 2 backup tackles in there. I don't think Josh Allen played a good game. I think he had a horrible first half for what we expect out of him. The interception was not good. But James Cook, 32 for 144. I think he had a better game than those stats show. He had 2 fumbles, actually. One of them was obviously recovered by himself, but I think he actually had a really good game. Even Ray Davis is running all over the Steelers defense. That run defense looked horrible. I mean, but the same concerns for Buffalo, and you guys won. The receiving core is so bad. It's so bad. But nonetheless, I'll let you take it away from here, Sean, but good win for the Bills, as this could have been a sneaky game where you guys could have lost, but you guys got the job done nonetheless, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. And the run defense stepped up. And the Steelers only scored 7 points, and the defense made some big plays when they needed to.
Yeah, I won't go on my normal, like, 5-minute tangent that I go on with every Bills game, but
dude, whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, this was I wouldn't say a good game. I mean, somehow Josh Allen's EPA in this game passing wise was positive. I'm not too sure how he sucked through the air. I'm going to be honest. But yeah, obviously the defense played outstanding. Christian Benford with 2 huge plays, had the fumble recovery touchdown and the interception. And then obviously that touchdown was created by Joey Bosa getting that sack, and just Aaron Rodgers just getting poor guy just looks so beat up. But yeah,
no. Time out. I don't not poor guy, dude. I hate that dude.
No, but you know what I mean.
Yes, I'm kidding.
Yeah, this is a good game for the Bills. The Bills literally ran the same run play, I think, 29 times, and
yeah.
James
it was outside zone every time.
Yeah, and a duo run, but
yeah,
I mean, James had 144 yards on the same run play every time. I mean, even TJ Watt talked about it after the game. He's like, I've never seen a team run the same play so many times over and over and someone not be able to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, James Cook was obviously great. Defense was great.
That fumble was funny. You need the ball out of
his own hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, this wasn't a pretty one, but I mean, this wasn't a game where Josh really needed to do much. It's kind of annoying that he still threw an interception in a game where it didn't really matter, but just as a fan, I just hate seeing that he throws an interception. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%. His counting numbers are not great this year.
No,
touchdown and interception.
I mean, if you look at his overall touchdowns, including rushing, it's a lot better, but strictly passing, it's definitely not as good as you would hope. The Bills' problem this year has just been turning the ball over too much. Obviously Josh has had his struggles, but James Cook has had problems with it too.
Mm-hmm.
They need to take care of the ball more if they want to make a playoff run. But yeah, I'm happy with the win. Always take a 19-point win over a team that's contending for the playoffs. So big game against Cincinnati this week.
Yeah, like I said, Pittsburgh's offense is borderline on nothing at this point.
It's broken. Matt, watching this game, their offense. Our offense looked horrible in the beginning, and I was nervous. But then I watched them on offense. I'm like, okay, we're good. We just need a few drives,
dude. And with Pittsburgh's defense as well, James Cook's running outside zone to the left. You're supposed to read A gap, B gap. If it's not there, cut back to the right side. If you're running to the left, how many times is that gonna I feel like that happened 5 times, and I know it wasn't the play that the duo run up the middle where you guys were just killing them, but James Cook's running to the left. Okay, doesn't see anything there. He cuts back. It's like 20 yards out of the play because TJ Watt also was a non-factor in this game, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
He's looking a little old, or not a little old. This whole defense is old, dude.
Yeah, it's just
like
old.
Their defense is so overrated, dude. And they also had a really questionable hit on Josh Allen where it probably should have been into unnecessary roughness. Like they look like a dysfunctional, angry football team that doesn't really know what to do. I think they're one of the worst 6-6 teams. I think Mike Tomlin could get fired. This is just it's been like this for Pittsburgh for like 7-8 years where it's just, again, stuck in mediocrity. They might not even go 500 this year. And the defense has regressed mightily. They're a bottom 5 defense ranked in a lot of things right now. Their run defense is poor, and their secondary's old, like Ramsey old, and Kyle Duggar's really old. So they are going to need to figure something out there. But good win for the Bills, 26-7.
Shout out Ryan Vandermark and Alec Anderson.
That's why I said when me and Sean were talking earlier, I said Alex Vandermark. I was thinking of Alec Anderson. That's who I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I don't know why we were talking about Alec Anderson and Ryan Vandermark, but anyways.
Yeah, I forget what the conversation was. Not relevant whatsoever.
No, God, no. No one cares. On to the next one. The Seahawks beat the Vikings 26-0. I don't even really think we need to talk about. I'll say a couple of things about Seattle real quick. Just, like their offense was not good. Their defense was the entire story of this game. Not a great rushing game. JSN's probably his first worst bad game of the year. On to me and Sean's seemingly favorite team to talk about. I thought
I want everyone to know before we get into this. Before this game, Matt told me watch out for Max Brosmer.
Can you shut up, bro? I was just, oh my God. It's not just me that said that. Look it up everywhere. So many people said that. The only reason I was saying that is because of how bad JJ McCarthy's been, where it's like, okay, it can't get worse than this, right? Yeah, it can.
It most certainly can.
It got worse. Brosmer threw 4 picks. One of them was arguably, I'd say one of the worst plays I've seen in NFL history. I'm gonna just be honest. Like
it was.
That's not just like a rookie playing his first career game. That's just like, I'm not making that decision. I'm taking the sack. Like, what are you doing? And then missing Justin Jefferson left and right again. The Vikings are in a QB dilemma right now. They are screwed at the QB position. I already said this before. McCarthy, if he keeps playing like this, if McCarthy throws for 200 yards and a touchdown next week, he's going to look like Tom Brady compared to how Brosmer played. But if McCarthy keeps giving you this play, like I said, O'Connell is not wasting this roster and this core. They're on a short leash with McCarthy. I'm telling you right now, they are going to have maybe a bridge quarterback that could battle McCarthy for the job like a Mac Jones. But I'm just telling you right now, McCarthy's not going to be the clear-cut starter next year. It's not going to happen. I could even see Daniel Jones returning back to town.
Oh, God.
Because, man, oh, man, this quarterback room is so bad. Aaron Jones also got absolutely rocked by DeMarcus Lawrence. Shout out to DeMarcus Lawrence, by the way. He's been like quietly really good for Seattle this year. A veteran. Yeah. I mean, this Seahawks defense is lights out. But by the way, Max Brosmer averaged 4.2 yards of completion. A lot of checkdowns. So many checkdowns to TJ Hawkinson and Aaron Jones.
That's as many yards as Justin Jefferson had all game.
Yep.
4. Yeah,
but did you watch how many times he was targeted? How many times was he targeted? 6 times. 6 times. And all 4 of the misses were like bad misses, dude. Like bad misses, dude. Like the Seahawks are in trouble. I mean, the Vikings are in trouble. Aaron Jones fumble, Jordan Mason fumble, Max Brosmer 4 interceptions. This Vikings, like the most important position in all of sports, they have 0 direction at right now. they are screwed. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. The Vikings are screwed with a pretty damn talented roster with how this quarterback room is playing right now.
Yeah, it's a shame because, like you mentioned, it's an incredible roster, and they just, like you mentioned, the quarterback's the most important. And you can't have success if your quarterback is playing as bad as their whole quarterback room is playing right now. Max Bresner had an EPA of negative 35.8. Negative 35. EPA means expected points added. Max Brosner was expected to add negative 35 points to the Vikings. So if you could go into the negatives, the Vikings would add negative 35 points according to his passing performance. If that has anything to say about him. Let's move on.
I don't really think people need to, I was just I don't really think people need to hear the advanced numbers, dude. Like you could tell how bad he was. But on to another game we can kind of just gloss over. The Chargers beat the Raiders 31-14. This was a close game at the beginning. Herbert has a broken bone in his hand. He was playing with his fingers taped together. And the Raiders are so bad on offense. Like, this is going to be one of like the worst, like, coach and like the Raiders after week 1 when they beat the Pats were like, people were so unbelievably high on this team. And my God, it couldn't have taken a worse turn. I mean, between Gino and the way the defense and Pete and how just poor the offensive line is and how underwhelming Genty's been and how they don't really incorporate Bowers. This game they did, of course, but again, only 4 catches with 4 targets. This is one of the worst stories of the year, maybe the worst story of the year. And they have 0 direction. And this is, again, another team that's going to have a long rebuild ahead of them. I think Gino needs to be gone. I think they should just start Kenny Pickett. Just switch something up. I think Max Crosby's going to want out of there. You saw him take out his frustrations on Herbert at the end of the game. By the way, one more thing. Trey Lance came in this game for a couple drives. Do you think he could ever turn into like not like a Taysom Hill or something like that? He's so athletic. Like he is very athletic. Like he's a terrible quarterback, but I feel like he's one of those players, and I feel the same about like Justin Fields, where like you can use them situationally in like the Wildcat or have them out there for just for like option plays, like triple options or stuff like that. Don't know why I'm talking about Trey Lance right now. The main talking point is the Raiders suck and the Chargers just beat the hell out of them. And Herbert's injured, which is not good for the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of just sums up their season. Injuries.
Yep.
But, I mean, you beat a divisional team on the road. This was on the road. Oh, no, it was at home. I'm sorry. But, I mean, you beat a divisional team by 17. You're never going to be upset about that. Chargers have the 5 seed right now. They're sitting at 8-4. Definitely concerns about Herbert. Hopefully he's okay. But, I mean, this Raiders team just sucks.
They're so bad. Oh, my God.
I wish I don't know. I'm not going to get into that.
Why?
What's the deal with Genty? Like,
what were you going to say?
I was going to say there should be like a toilet bowl of like the bottom 4 teams in the standings just to see who's the worst, and whoever loses the final game, like instead it has to be like a reverse Super Bowl where
it's the Titans.
Where like the bottom 4 teams, whoever loses 2 games out of the final 4 teams is the worst team. I guess the number 1 seed.
Yeah, but like teams would try to lose on purpose for a higher draft pick.
Okay, then make them win.
That's true. Yeah, but the Raiders are so bad. We don't need to talk about them anymore. They're a trash football team. The Chargers come out of it with a win, but at what cost? Looks like Herbert's going to miss some time, maybe. I don't know yet. I think he had to get surgery on his hand, if I'm not mistaken. So
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Matt, Ashton Genty in this game had 31 rushing yards. He had 37 yards after contact.
That's kind of what it's been all year. I mean, their offensive line is so bad.
That's how many times he's getting hit behind the line of scrimmage.
Every play. It's not even just that though.
Oh
It's
my God.
like their interior has been shuffled all year and they're all horrible. Like that sums up the Raiders. Like
The Raiders almost beat the Chiefs last year, by the way. Remember that one game?
the Raiders beat the Pats this year. Oh my God, that pisses me off.
You guys
so
could be
much.
12-1 so easily. You guys could be 13-0 easily.
Yeah, whatever. I don't want to talk about it.
If Ramondre Stevenson could hold on to a football.
Yeah. God. On to the next game. Sunday Night Football. Broncos squeak out a win against the Commanders. Shout out to the Commanders this game. They showed some life.
Look at Mariota, man.
They showed some flashes of why they were a competitive team last year in some instances. I mean, Terry McLaurin had a great game. I thought Mariota played a pretty good game, threw a pretty costly interception. Again, it doesn't really matter in the end. They went to overtime. Mariota had a good game. Another guy, another Vikings quarterback candidate for a bridge guy. I'm just saying, another Vikings bridge quarterback candidate. Zach Ertz is we in 2016 or 2025, 10 for 106. McLaurin had you see how big of an impact he has on this offense. This is what you want to see if you're Washington. You're not making the playoffs, obviously. Your franchise quarterback's injured. So you want to be competitive, but at the same time lose because it's just better for the future of your team. And the Commanders are doing just that. Or in this game they did. They did a pretty good job on offense. I think Mariota, not very efficient, but he made big plays when he needed to. I mean, they drove down the field the last minute of the drive. They had some big plays. They were this close to winning in overtime, just a 2-point conversion that got knocked down by like an all-pro edge rusher, obviously. For Denver, Bo Nix played a good game. Got to give him credit. He did play a good game, except that interception.
What was he looking at?
That was one of the worst throws I've ever seen in my entire life. Literally one of the worst.
He said, "Here, Bobby,
like
have an interception."
Bobby Wagner, by the way, was getting hooked that game.
Well, he's like 50.
Yeah, I know. Bobby Wagner's in coverage. He's still a good run guy, but he's so old. But the Broncos, you just want to. It's just a game you want to get out of with a win. Not impressed. Their defense did not look good. I think Surtain actually got cooked sometimes by McLaurin this game. But he's also coming back from injury.
He also gave up his first touchdown since like middle of the year last year.
Him and Gonzalez had the longest touchdown streaks longest streaks without a touchdown, and they both give one up.
Broken this week.
Gonzalez was last week.
Oh, well, yeah. Gonzalez was against Cincinnati.
And then to Mitchell Tinsley, by the way, just letting you know that again. And then
he's washed.
Surtain was this week, but nonetheless, Broncos get the win. Their run game was so horrible. I mean, they're missing J.K. Dobbins, and I don't know. I don't really know what else to say besides they're rolling. That's all that matters.
I don't know about rolling. I mean, wins wise, yeah, but
people, by the way, their schedule, like win percentage is like right around the Pats, but nobody wants to talk about the Broncos wins, right? Because they beat the Eagles and they beat the Chiefs, but nobody wants to talk about the Broncos win percentage, right? Like the teams they've beat, like Bengals, Eagles, great win. They beat the Jets 13-11. Don't know if you guys remember that game in overseas, but their wins are against the Jets. They beat the Jets, Giants, Raiders. I mean, Commanders are not a good team, obviously, this year. Houston, good win. They killed Dallas. At the time, Dallas was a mess, but Denver's 10-2, and I guess that's all that matters at the end of the day. And they're right there to get the 1 seed with the next team that we're going to talk about, who has the far better quarterback and the far more fun offense to watch. The Patriots just completely dismantled the Giants. I don't care what the final score said. If the Patriots wanted to, they didn't kill 8 minutes off the clock on every drive, they could have put up 50 points, especially with their red zone offense, which is still a major concern that I'm going to get into. I'll let you start with this, Sean, then I'll kind of clean up after.
Yeah, I mean, main thing I saw in this game was this Patriots defense is mean. Like, they're just like, they're in your face. They hit hard. They're, in my opinion, threw a couple dirty hits. Matt knows the specific one that I'm talking about. On Theo Johnson.
Oh yes, I thought you meant the Dart one.
No, Dart Dart, I don't know what he's doing. He needs to get out of bounds.
Yep.
Anyways, pretty simple game for their offense. I mean, they put up 33 points on a bad defense. Drake May did his thing. Their offense did its thing. Defense looked great. Obviously, like I mentioned, they're just when you're building a defense and like building a culture, specifically on defense, like that's what you want to build. It's just like a mean defense that no one wants to go against. You just every time you touch the ball, you know that someone's going to be in your face trying to just absolutely hammer you, and that's what their defense is, and it's what you need if you're going to make a playoff run too. So, Patriots are currently the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they're looking good.
Yeah, I mean,
heading into a bye week too.
That was the most dominant half the Patriots have played in a long time. By the way, yeah, I don't want to talk too much about the Giants and Jackson Dart or whatever. And Dan Orlovsky made a good point. Like, people I think are kind of bashing him too much because you still want the kid to be competitive, but at the same time, it's like, dude,
you need to take care of yourself.
That's not a competitive play. He was just like pretty much waltzing down the line when you could have had a 3rd and 3 if you just step out of bounds, but instead you got a 250-pound linebacker that's one of the most physical players on the team coming over, and that was one of the biggest hits I've personally ever seen in my life. I don't know how Dark got up after that, but just shout out to the depth pieces for the Patriots. I was a little worried about the depth overall with this team coming into the year, but you have Ben Brown and Vidarian Lowe step up. Vidarian Lowe had a very solid game, especially in the run. He had a good game. He stepped up well. Brian Burns was not that big of a factor in this game. And we're at the point now with Drake May where it's like, okay, 285 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, he played like that's just like what we expect from him every week. Like, I don't need to come on here and be like, oh guys, look at how good Drake May is. It's like, dude, we know he's good. I don't need to keep saying it. I don't need to come on here and hype up and tell you what he's good at and how good he is at moving in the pocket. You guys all know it if you watch. I don't need to talk about him. The dude's a superstar. TreVeyon Henderson he's starting to come on. He had a really good game. I thought Ramondre Stevenson had a better game than the numbers show. He ran hard this game. Hunter, and the ball was spread out, but like differently spread out than like everyone having a catch. Like Henry, 4 catches for 73. Ramondre, 3 for 40. Kayshawn, 4 for 35 and a touchdown. Kyle Williams had a really big touchdown. Demario Douglas had a couple nice plays. Stephon Diggs had a couple nice plays. Like, it's everyone getting involved on offense. And I think the Pats have like 4 or 5 guys over 400 yards on the year, if I'm not mistaken. It's Diggs, Henry, Booty, Hollins, and Douglas. So, yeah, 5 guys over 400 yards on the year, which is really impressive for a unit that was considered maybe one of the worst last year. Just how much of an impact Hollins, Diggs, Henderson, and Josh McDaniels have had on that unit. I thought they did an outstanding job. I thought, like I said, Drake was awesome. The defense, the first half, completely dominated. Physically, Ellis had another huge hit on Olszewski. Prayers up to him. That was pretty hard to watch. He looked pretty banged up after that play. I will say, though, the red zone offense needs to be better. Again, 1 for 5 in the red zone. It's weird because the Patriots, like I said, their offense is it's so good. It's so fun to watch. But at the same time, you got to be the Patriots could add 50 points in this game. Like, if they just capitalized 2 more times in the red zone. One of them was at the end of the second half, so you want to kind of cut that one out. They ran out of time, but you're so talented. You have an unbelievable quarterback. You have good players on the outside. You have your offensive line's been good enough. Like, you want to see them score more consistently and put teams to bed earlier. This game was done at the end of the first half. I'm just talking about against better competition. The one thing I will say about Drake May that I want to always emphasize, he has the best deep ball in the NFL. Like, he throws one of the prettiest deep balls I've ever watched. And I'm not even just talking from a Pats fan standpoint. The throw to Kyle Williams, you literally, like, if science put the ball perfectly where it needed to be, like, you could not have thrown the ball more perfect than that. And we kind of see it every week from him. Only thing I will say, and by the way, step up big, and I could talk about the Pats for hours. I don't want to bore you guys. They also got big games from Corey Durden and Eric Gregory, who are guys that you don't really know, but without Kyrus Tonga and Milton Williams, you were going to need that. Singletary had some nice runs, but the Pats had complete control of this game from start to finish. They came out firing, going into the bye, well-deserved bye, winning 10 straight games. I couldn't be happier where this team's at, Sean.
Yeah, the one thing that I wanted to kind of touch on to wrap it up is you mentioned the red zone offense being 1 for 5. If, and I'm not saying it's not possible, but if they want to make like a playoff run, that needs to fix in the playoffs. Because when you're in those tight games against those good teams, especially teams that have that might have playoff experience over the Pats, like you need to take advantage and get 7 points instead of 3 every time. And I'm not saying they're not capable of it, but like it's something they're going to need to fix if they want to make a run.
100%. And another thing too, this isn't like a scheme thing. They need to get healthier. They're sneaky one of the most injured teams in the league at the most important positions, and it's not looking good for Will Campbell. Sean, I know you're not on Patriots Twitter and reports like I am. A grade 3 MCL sprain is pretty much a torn MCL, and it's not looking like he's going to be back for the rest of the regular season. And I don't want to rush the kid back because, again, I still am thinking about how good this team can be for years to come. I know Will Campbell wants to come back. The dude is one of the biggest competitors I've ever seen, but it's not looking good for him. I think Lowe is going to be there for at least the near future. Luckily, we're not playing against any good pass rushers, especially if Joey Bosa's out. But even then, he's been a little up and down this year. But we need to get healthier. Milton Williams won't be back for a couple more weeks still. Kyrus Tonga, Will Campbell, just 3 huge losses for this team. Jared Wilson too, another really good offensive lineman. But nonetheless, Pats kill the Giants as they should have going into the bye. Last segment of the show. I know it's been a little bit of a long one here. We'll just do a quick Thursday Night Football prediction. Sean, I'll let you start us off here.
Yeah, dude, I'm riding the hot hand. I'm taking the Cowboys in this one. They're on the road in Detroit, but they're no stranger to the dome environment. I don't like the way that Detroit's been playing recently. I'm going to be honest. I think the Cowboys, obviously their offense is soaring high right now, but I mentioned it earlier. Their defense is looking a lot better too. I like a lot what I'm seeing out of them. Yep. They looked a lot better against the Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs, they looked a lot better that game. And the Lions are starting to maybe trend down a little bit. They're sitting at 7-5 right now. Not in a playoff spot right now in a very competitive NFC. Not a team I had being 7-5 at this point in the season, if I'm going to be honest. But
nope.
I'm looking at this right now. I didn't even know this record. I'm on NFL Pro, and I don't know what they like call a close game, but their record in close games is 2-3. Like if that kind of hints at if they're not blowing a team out, oftentimes they're not able to win. And I don't think this is a game where they're going to be able to blow the Cowboys out. This is the 8-9 seed in the NFC. This is 2 hungry teams that are trying to get over the hump and get into the playoffs right now. They're both desperate. This is a game that both teams need to win. If the Lions are 7-6 and the Cowboys are 7-5-1, Lions are at risk of missing the playoffs. So
yeah, they kind of got to win out at there. They're almost in the same spot as the Chiefs at that point.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, the Cowboys. Who knows, man? If they get hot and they run the table, they could win their division. And the way they're playing right now wouldn't surprise anyone. But the Lions are in a very, very hard NFC North with 2 other teams ahead of them that are 2 of the better teams in the league right now. So this is a must-win for the Lions. But I'm going to take the Cowboys. I just think they're playing such good football right now. I love what Dak's doing. Love their receiving game. And I think their defense is on the rise as well.
Yeah, I mean, this one's kind of tough for me. This game could literally be like 50-45. Like there could be 0 defense in this game.
Over-under's 54.5.
The Lions, I believe, are without Amon-Ra tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. I know the injury wasn't as serious as we thought it was, but I don't think he's playing tomorrow. Let me check that real quick. Is he not listed as questionable? Oh, no, he is. He is. Let me just read the latest on him real quick. He
Likely a game
Oh
10
no,
decision.
he's wait. Oh, he's a game time.
Questionable.
So okay, so if Amon Ra doesn't play, this one's really tough. I'm going with Dallas, and I think the Lions are in jeopardy. Like you said, I'm missing the playoffs after this game. I can't pick against Dallas's offense right now, and it's not like they're going against a really good defense in Detroit. They're a below average unit without now Terry and Arnold just down another body. I know he's not great, but just another body that you're down, and it doesn't matter what cornerback duo you throw out there. It could be Surtain and Gonzalez. CD and Pickens are still going to get theirs. Like they're just that good. And Dak's playing that good as well. I don't feel great about picking Dallas because I think Detroit could still win this game. And I think Detroit might be just as, if not more desperate than Dallas just because of the losses that they're coming off. But I'm going to take Dallas right now, Sean. I really am.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a fantastic game. I'm pumped to watch this one. This is going to be a great game. There's going to be some fireworks in this one.
100%. Guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to drop subscription.
It's a long episode.
100%, but we love doing it. Like I always say, we always will. Make sure to drop a subscription to the Monday Morning Quarterback Show for more football content. Make sure to drop a follow on Sean's amazing content on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I almost just said Snapchat. Make sure to give me a follow on TikTok. We're pushing for 1,000, boys. We're almost there. And make sure to follow me on Twitter as well. I post a lot over there as well. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we are gonna, like I always say, we're gonna try to keep doing this as much as we can. We'll give you guys our week 14 pick 'em coming out later on this week at some point. And after that, after next week or beginning of next week, we're officially on Christmas break, Sean. First from school. So we got a lot of time on our hands to do a lot of content. We're going to try to post a lot more on TikTok as well, just to get you guys to just see the shorter.
Got to get more clips out.
Yeah, 100%. And, but we're having a great time doing this. And again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time.